Hello. How's it going? My mic here, I forgot to plug it in. It's one of those mornings. Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. Just gonna light some sage. Where's my sage? There it is. Hello, hello. Sorry I'm late. I'm fashionably late today. Busy morning. I tried to fix the Facebook user thing. It's still saying Facebook user. StreamYard hasn't fixed shit over the weekend. Unbelievable. It's one of the reasons why I'm late. I was trying to fix it, but for some reason it's just a thing. So now I still can't see anybody's names. Sorry, everyone. Hello, guys. If you don't mind sharing your name for your comment so I know who I'm talking to. Jeez, how annoying that StreamYard hasn't fixed that yet. Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. There we go. I went British for a second. Did I? It must be Charlie. My soul guide is British, so if I sound British, I'm going to start blaming him. Don't mind the smoke. I need to sage. How is everyone? Hi, Jordan. Hi, Chandrika. Hi, Jessica. Hi, Karen. Hi, David. Hi, Alicia. Thank you for joining me, guys. Nice to see you all today. Happy 11/11. What an exciting day it is. 11/11 is never a quiet day. There's always something going on. The sage is burning a little too well right now. There we go. So how was everyone's weekend? We had some big solar flares over the weekend. In fact, let me see how those have leveled out over the night. Because, wow, we had some intense solar flares coming through. Let's see. Where is it? Yep. See, look at the Geomag. Geomag was spiking like crazy. And we had some big flares. See? Some big flares over the weekend, but nothing too chaotic. Nothing we aren't already used to at this point. Long weekend. Bacchus but didn't do anything crazy. Maria, you had the biggest double rainbow over your house. That's beautiful. Very cool. Hi, Lori. Hi, Jordan. Jordan says, I think I may have seasonal depression coming on. It's too early for that. The season has just begun. We got to get you outside in the sun and some fresh air and do some grounding. And no, we still can't see names, Michelle. Sorry. I don't know what it is. There's a little flag at the top of my StreamYard that says, we're working on it. They had the whole weekend to work on it. So I don't know what's going on there. Hi, Ian. Welcome. How is everyone? Hi, Louisa. Huge coronal hole pointing at Earth. Watch out for space wind over the next few days. Interesting. Space wind. There's going to be all kinds of crazy stuff going on. And there's already some crazy stuff going on right now, which I will have to wait to tell you guys about until we're on Astara. There's a lot I can't talk about on Facebook right now, but I was given permission to talk a little bit about it on Astara. I have been very busy, you guys. I have been stirring up some shit on the galactic scene. I'll put it that way. So things are getting very interesting. We did some clearings in Spain the other day. I've been working with this new group of Salacians. They're Pleiadians, and they're phenomenal. I'm going to talk about them a little bit more on Astara later. But I just want to express my gratitude to them and for all of their help. And they have been just incredible, the amount of stuff that we've been able to get done with their help. So it's a long story, but I have probably close to 100 Pleiadian friends now that are that are helping us to do clearing of big spaces. It's just really nice. So everything is going very, very well in certain areas, but it's been ramping up and getting crazy in others. So it feels good to be effective, though. It feels good to be actually implementing change for once. But things are going to get a little bit crazier over the next coming weeks, I've been told. So everybody's meant to buckle up. How have you guys been keeping your vibration up over the weekend? How's everybody been feeling? Anybody been struggling to keep their vibration up? I checked on a friend of mine that was quite upset over the weekend about the election. And this friend had blocked me. And I'm like, what is going on? Why would they be so upset enough to block me? So I did a clearing on them, and I found out that they jumped timelines. Apparently, people can be so beheld to the results of the election that they literally jump timelines into a different time. I was astonished when I found this out. I was like, why did my friend block me? They're like, no, this person has switched timelines. I was like, what do you mean? They're like, yeah, they're not in your timeline anymore. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? So they were so unhappy with the results of the election that they actually switched timelines. And that had me so shocked. I'm still processing that. So it really is that easy, you guys, to jump into a different timeline, a whole different future per se. And this is why it's so important to keep your vibration high, to keep your eye on the prize, so to speak. So I love Karen says my vibration is so high. I feel like I have a coffee high. Yes. Love that. Michelle says, so what timeline are they in? One where things are worse. I have no idea. They didn't specify, but they just said they went into a completely different timeline based on their freaking out over the election. I didn't know that was even possible. I mean, I knew we were moving into different timelines, but I figure, it's like everybody moves with us, right? No, apparently not. Some people are like, no, I don't want that new timeline. See you. Peace. And they're just gone. And I'm like, what is happening? So yeah, I didn't realize that timeline shifts could be that profound. Apparently they can. They're no longer in your timeline, like they don't exist in this timeline anymore. I don't know. They blocked me. That's all I know. I went to contact this friend, and they are no longer able to be contacted. And I was like, why? Like, I didn't even have a falling out with this friend. Nothing. We didn't have any issues, no arguments, nothing whatsoever. So I was like, what? I don't even get it. Very strange that they would wind up in a completely different timeline. But this is why I say, some people are going to be choosing a different result. If that's what they want, then fair play. We can't drag people into our timeline if they don't want to be. Exactly, Connie. Connie says, but you weren't even on any political side. I know. I'm an anarchist. Thank you very much. I have no qualms about admitting that either. I think that humans need governments like animals need farms. I don't think that we need somebody looming down us all the time telling us what to do. We have morals. We can make rules. There's ways of doing things without government. So personally, yeah, I'm surprised at that myself. But you never know which version of the future we're constantly moving into. So if you lose touch, I don't think it's normally that obvious that a friend just blocks you. Normally they just kind of disappear and you're like, I wonder what happened to what's his name? And you're like, oh, I wonder what happened to that person. You're right, I haven't seen him in a long time. Yeah, maybe they jumped into a different timeline. So it just makes you wonder, like, who's coming with me? Amanda says, I like to call myself a spiritual anarchist. Exactly. See? But then again, I realize that there needs to be some kind of rules and restraint when it comes to humans. But that doesn't mean we need a government. That's entirely different. But I don't know about you guys, but I'm very excited about this new timeline shift. I know you guys saw my post the other day. I didn't get much chance to talk about it. That big timeline shift. It was a little nerve-wracking to happen because it was a completely different guide that came through. It did validate who they were. It was a Pleiadian. I'm just going to put it that way. I'm not going to go into it any more than that. But yeah, this Pleiadian and a few others have been giving me a lot of info about timeline jumping and how many of us are doing it all the time. I mean, you're literally jumping from parallel reality to parallel reality every minute of every day. In fact, that's what gives us the illusion of time passing, technically, is that you're jumping from reality to reality to reality all the time. And so, yeah, you don't realize how easy and seamless some of these timeline jumps can be. And then other times that's very, very obvious. Other times you get things like, I've actually been looking all weekend for Mandela effects. I'm like, oh, if we're in a new timeline, there's got to be a new Mandela effect. Like, what's different? What's different in this timeline? So, yeah, you just never know how things are going to unfold because we're constantly shifting all the time. Jordan says, so this timeline shift, does that mean we're no longer in a timeline where the grid goes down? That was my very first question. Literally, as they told me we're in a new timeline, I'm like, does that mean we were told things aren't going to happen the way they were? Apparently, they're not going to be as long, but they may be just as intense. That's what I was told. It may not be for as long of a time, but things are still going to get very, very intense. In fact, this timeline might be more intense considering how much we pissed off the Lizzies. Because we have. Our Lizzie attacks have tripled in the last few days. Normally, Lizzies are quite rare to find on people. And I've been doing close to 10 to 20 clearings a day. I'm not even kidding, not exaggerating that in any way. In fact, we cleared a whole bunch of the towns, as I mentioned, in Spain. So for those of you who are unaware, I'm sure there's a couple people. In February, we were told by one of the soul guides that we trust most that there will be a chance that the grid may go down and that things might get ugly for a little bit. No, I still can't see names, just for the record. StreamYard still doesn't fix that. So we have been waiting since February for this to occur, unsure about what the future has in store for us because infinite timelines exist, you guys. We could be moving into all these different timelines. We never really know what timeline we're going to be jumping into because I said every moment of every day we're jumping through different timelines. So this is why there's been so many disagreements about what the potential reality, what the potential future is going to be. And so they were adamant that this is a very likely possibility, which is why they wanted to warn us about it. Because if we are moving into that timeline, then it's better to be prepared, right? Obviously, than it would be to just be blindsided by any potential reality. Well, the fact is, no future is set in stone. We never really know which alternate reality we're going to be moving into because, as I said, we're constantly shifting. So one of the most interesting things about this is that anybody could be right. Anybody can be right about the future. You could think that the world is going to collapse and everything is going to go to shit in a couple months. I'm sure there's a timeline out there somewhere where that happens. There is a timeline out there where, mass disclosure happens and ETs come down and start talking to us and start collaborating with us and start, making implemental change around the planet. That is a real timeline that exists somewhere. Then there's also timelines where the New World Order kicks off and the Cabal take over in full force and everything gets real ugly. I'm sure many of us going back, 2007, 2008, we heard about all the FEMA camps and the big, what do they call those big plastic coffins they had everywhere. We all heard all of that shit back in the day. And I was pretty well convinced that was going to happen. I mean, they were setting up all the dominoes for that. All they had to do is get a little flick and the whole thing would come unraveling. So that's what many of us expected to happen back then. And what's interesting is that the Taygetians, the Pleiadians that I'm very close to, they have said before a couple times that there are alternate realities that we could have moved into. We have already avoided some really awful post-apocalyptic timelines, you guys. I've made some jokes like before about like the Berenstein Bears. Like, who knows where the Berenstein Bear books are right now? The ones that are the real Berenstein Bear ones, not the Berenstain ones. Who knows what parallel reality they're sitting into? And who knows? Maybe they're sitting in the reality where all the FEMA camps and things kicked off. We did not end up in that timeline. Otherwise, obviously, that would have happened back. And they said, I think that Tegetton said that there were timelines where it all kicked off in 2012. And I think they said there was even a timeline where it kicked off in 2008. So we got very lucky to be here, still holding on to as much freedom as we have at this moment. And there's more favorable timelines. As you know, we're always seeking our highest timeline. That's what we're always striving to find, right? Well, they say the best way you can find that highest timeline is by not living in fear and by keeping your vibration high. So last week, when the guides contacted me, and it was quite shocking, actually. It was a whole thing. It was a whole thing, let me tell you. This was not a normal message that came through. Okay, we'll just put it that way. And when this message came through, I was like, holy shit, like, okay, this is great. We jumped into a whole new timeline. Fantastic, wonderful. What does that even mean? And they're saying that the train is rolling. And I said, what is that? Okay, the train is rolling. And they said, we've been trying to get the train rolling for months, for years. And it's finally rolling. And I was like, this sounds very vague. And they said, yes, but the momentum, they said that the high vibrations are the fuel for the train. And right now the vibrations are so high that people feel so good. I realize some people feel awful, but there's actually like a spark of hope that's happened. And apparently there's also been massive activations that have occurred due to the solar flares. So they explained a little bit about the solar flares and how the solar flares are activating people all over the place. And so when these flares are activated, you know, people are coming online. It's like little light bulbs, bing, 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 all coming online. And when you are activating people spiritually, their vibration goes up, right? So apparently that has happened to such a degree that we've shifted an actual timeline. There are so many people in high vibration that are coming online right now, all those little lights coming online, that we've started like this avalanche. It's the only way I can think of it. It's like this what is it called when they have all those bikes in New York City where, oh my god, there's a word for it, where they just come and they just invade. I'm trying to think of what it's actually called when they do that. But it's like that. Like, we've had so much good energy, positive energy bombarding the earth right now that our vibration just took a huge leap. And because of that, that is why we've noticed that the reptilians have been attacking 3 times, if not 5 times more than normal. I mean, they're literally coming out of the woodwork right now. I don't know if they've got some kind of order where they're like, hey, by the way, you know, shit's hitting the fan on the surface. Get up there and start attacking people. So we have noticed that there is a lot more activity. And yes, thank you for mentioning Kitesh. I was just about to say, poor Kitesh was one of those people that was attacked. They're going after light workers, big time. They're going after star seeds, big time. And the reason for that is because we have started this mass awakening, and it's actually working. It's actually working. In fact, the soul guides are like, yes! The soul guides are so happy right now. They're like, yes, 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 we're doing it, we're doing it, we're doing it. So let me tell you, I must say, like, there is some excitement that I've never seen before on a level in the astral that is just, it's insane right now how happy and excited the soul guides are. However, like I said, the more we get a few steps ahead, the more they're like, no, get back here. So that's why the psychic attacks are happening. That's why it's so important to keep your vibration high. And that is why, you know, we have so much to be thankful for right now. If you think about all those alternate timelines where the shit hit the fan and we're not in those timelines, we have a lot to be thankful for. So for those of you who say you need a clearing, I will be doing one on Astara in 30 minutes. You are all welcome to join me, and you guys will get a free clearing today. I will be having, my soul guides have offered to do this. All I have to do is call them in and they will take care of it. So So if you guys need one, join me on a star in 30 minutes and you can have one. Okay? Just for the record. But this is why, my guides have told me, they're like, yep, we need to keep everybody clear. We need to keep everybody, in high vibration. So if those of you join me for my mentorship circle in 30 minutes, I got you. Okay? freebies for the collective. But yeah, we all need to keep our vibes high. We need to keep all the shit off of us. So every Monday, that is the plan. Okay? Just for the record. And it will be my beloved Pleiadian friends that are going to be assisting with that. So, mwah to the Salations. Thank you so much for all the help you're doing for us. Somebody just said, I have a major attack this past weekend, and I just went into all my tools and shadow work that I have a routine for. When a major response from my nervous system, then just, wow, I'm like, that makes sense. My routine worked, but I was wondering what the heck. Well, you have to call in your guides. You have to keep your vibration high. If you have your home an inhospitable zone, so to speak, they won't be able to come in here. So what I do, like yesterday, I went a little full bore because I did piss them off a little bit. I'll tell you guys about that more on Astara. I started some shit yesterday. So I have been I pissed off a lot of Lizzies. I'll just put it that way. So I've been cleaning out my home space with a lot of essential oils and resins and herbs and all kinds of stuff. So for those of you, how do we get on Astara? Here you go. Astara community.com. Did I spell it right? Yes, it is. Okay. So if you go on there, I will be leading a Zoom chat in 30 minutes. So if you go to astaracommunity.com, create a login. I believe my mentorship is free. So we have the free, and then we have the paid subscription one. I believe it is free. So you guys, as long as you sign up on Astara, you can join us, and you'll see as soon as you go in, you can watch it on your laptop, or you can watch it on the Mighty app. If you go to your app store and type in Mighty, once you have your login for Astara, you'll be able to find our community on the Mighty network. And you guys can stream from your phone. There's a Monday one paid. Oh, my apologies. I didn't know that. I should change that, actually. I apologize. I didn't know that. Donna, I installed a turret in the house like you did, Laura, and it works. One can hear it go off. Yes, I have mine going as well. For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, in my astral projection class, I taught my students to manifest all kinds of defenses around the house if they wish. So my defenses, because I've played so much Call of Duty in my life, is a turret that spins in 360-degree view. And it sits in my living room. I manifested it. I just visualized it in the astral. Anything you visualize in the astral, you create around you. So I did. I created a turret in my house, and it shoots violet flame and sea salt. Anything that comes in the house that's nefarious. So, and it's funny because I didn't realize how well they work until one day I literally heard like this snap noise, and I'm like, what was that? And they're like, oh, something tried to come in. Level 1 tried to come into your turret. Got it. I was like, yes. I literally heard it working one day. So yeah, you should actually hear it working too. That's very cool, Donna. Jana says, I woke up the other night and had the awareness some beings were dangling me upside down by my legs over my bed. And I was like, what the fuck? I started to do a haka to scare them away. Did the haka work? Apparently, if you do the haka, for those of you who don't know, like the Maori, they do this thing. That apparently really works. If you start doing the haka at entities, they're like, ah, and they run away. See? And then she said, I saw one get scared and they fled. See? You gotta stand in your power. It's really funny too, because one of the people, I actually got that from a person that had a past life as a Maori. And they didn't even know that. It was one of their past life resonances. So that was a really cool advice from the guide. So like, yeah, tell her to use it. She's got it. So I've just been telling everybody to do the haka. Yeah, apparently it works. I love it. So yeah, there's all kinds of ways you can be intimidating. You don't have to be all like, you can even blow kisses at them. Apparently the Lizzies love that when you blow kisses at them. I found that out. So yeah, keep your protection up, keep your vibrations high. Keep yourself grounded. Last night, you know what I had for dinner? I had potatoes and onions. Literally, that was my dinner. I just roasted a bunch of potatoes and onions. I'm like, I'm getting grounded. So yeah. And I had peanut butter for dessert. I'm like, everything I ate was grounding last night. And I'm actually fasting today. I'm drinking just water in here today. I'm being good. I'm trying to do a fast because my guides recommended one for me. So if I start getting little pimples, you know what's going on. That's why I'm doing a tox clear. So if you are remembering something, it also means creating in the astral. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Every time you think of something, you create it. You create all kinds of stuff in the astral. This is one of the reasons why they keep us humans in quarantine, because they don't want us manifesting willy-nilly in the astral on another planet. They're like, nope, until you get control over your manifestation powers, you are stuck. How long are you fasting for? 48 hours. Maybe 32, depending on how I feel. We'll see. I'm trying to go the full 48. We'll see. So I've been drinking mostly smoothies like all weekend, except for the potatoes and onions I ate last night for dinner, which was great. But my hands are almost healed from my last potato incident, so it's good. So yeah, one of the best ways you can also keep your vibration up is going outside, doing some fresh air, some exercise, walking around in nature. Grounding is also able to be done that way, which is really important. I'm trying to think. I just figured out that every time I remember a dream, I went to a parallel life. Yep. Yeah, that's what happens. All of our dreams are real, you guys. All of them. So it's going to be real interesting to see how things unfold. But remember, one of the best ways you can keep your vibration up, especially in your house, is just to play uplifting music, to dance, to laugh, to sing. Just dance around like an idiot in your house, and you'd be surprised how much your vibration will go up. So, somebody just said, I feel like sometimes dreams can be attacks. 100%. Yeah, big time. That is extremely true. In fact, that's quite common that dreams are attacks. Anytime your children have nightmares, guarantee they're dealing with something that's attacking them, whether or not it is some kind of entity, whether or not it is some kind of elemental, because the elementals do tend to mess with children a lot. I literally cleared some from a children's bedroom last night. One of my friends' kids was having a nightmare, and I checked, and sure enough, there was a level 1 in the bedroom and the portal scaring the shit out of the little guy. So it's very important to, listen to your children when they say that there's something is bothering them. They're not making it up, ever. Megan says, I've been singing and dancing a week straight. Yes, love it. Anyone going to the Mind, Body, Spirit Festival in Birmingham? I know somebody that is. Ferris is going. Ferris will have a table there, so make sure you go and give him a big hug for me if you're going. I would have loved to have gone to the Birmingham festivals, but unfortunately, I'm across the pond. But someday I would love to, because the one in November, was it May? No, it was May. It was amazing. So go say hi to Ferris for me if you're going. So not all dreams are real then, right? No, all dreams are real, 100%. I teach this in my astral projection class. All dreams are real. Even if it's, let's say, for example, you had a dream where your husband cheated on you last night. Obviously, in the real 3D world, it wasn't real because, he was probably in bed sleeping next to you and didn't cheat on you because he's right there. But in your mind, you're like, it's so real. Why did I see it so real? It's real because you created it. It may be a non-physical real, but just because it's non-physical doesn't mean it's not real. You create these things in the astral. You go through these scenarios. You run through these scenarios in your head. So for that reason, we actually have a lot of messages come through our subconscious that way. And the reason for that is because they're telling you there's something you need to work on. Like, for example, if you had a dream that your husband cheated on you, you're dealing with either insecurity issues or you're dealing with trust issues. So This is a sign from the universe. They're like, okay, you either have to deal with your unconscious trauma, your fears, your unconscious fears, or your doubts, your lack of trust. So all of these things have a message. Every single dream, if you remember it, especially if you're like me and you don't dream very often for a certain reason, that if you remember then, that's even more like from the universe going, hey, pay attention. Premonition dreams are also like that, where you are testing out scenarios in your head to see how it's like you're preparing yourself. You're like when you're about to deliver a speech and you go to the mirror to talk to yourself, to deliver the speech, to see how you would think and feel doing the speech, it's like a rehearsal. So you're rehearsing things in your head, in your dream state. Why you rehearse it that way, I don't know. It entirely depends on the individual and the circumstances and the situation. We all have to stabilize the brain. Different. Whoa, that was hard to read there for some reason. When I was pregnant with my daughter, I had this horrible dream where I was hurting people in a very violent way. Every time I woke up, I would hear the sounds in my bedroom. And when I fall back asleep, my nightmare would continue. That sounds like it was more of an attack, Jordan, than anything else. I mean, sometimes nightmares can be us tuning into a trauma from a past life or from when we were younger. Sometimes the dreams we tap into are manifested through an attachment. Like, let's say, for example, you had some kind of a traumatic experience and the entities know you had that traumatic experience. Sometimes they will replay that in your mind to torture you, really. So sometimes it's not your higher self that's doing it. It's not your subconscious. If something is replaying over and over and over and over and over, and it's a trauma, chances are something is trying to use that trauma against you to keep your vibration low. So this is where the whole nightmare thing and entities kind of mingle. Someone said I woke up laughing from a funny dream. There you go. That's a good one. What does it mean if you rarely remember your dreams? Well, sometimes it happens because we are in such a high vibration. Like, we go up to the higher realms. And when you're in the higher realms, your vibration is much higher and your memories are not downloaded to your physical body. So if you're not remembering something you experienced while out of body, it's because the memories were not downloaded to your physical body. Your brain is like it's your hard drive. And if something didn't come up, if it's not being stored on your hard drive, it was never downloaded to your hard drive, right? So if you don't remember your dreams, then they're not being downloaded, so to speak. One of the ways you can actually start to set the intention to download your dreams is by having a dream journal. Dream journals are really important. In fact, just setting the intention of buying a dream journal and having it next to your bed, ready to be used, your subconscious is like, all right, they want to remember stuff. I need to make sure that I remember more while we're under. I need to download more while we're under. And you will notice you'll start to remember a lot more from your dreams. Can I determine meanings of dreams? There are so many books about meanings of dreams, and they all say something different. So, dream interpretation is really complicated, and most of it is done through intuition. So if you have a very good dream interpreter, they didn't memorize 200,000 different dreams and being like, oh, this one sounds like this one. No, they're just doing it intuitively. They're intuitively connecting with your intuition to figure out what the download is that you meant to get from that. But there's always a message. Every single dream. I don't care how ridiculous and absurd the dream is, there is a message in it. My floor is creaking above me and there's nobody home. That's great. Hi. How would I know if I had a psychic attack? You're going to feel exhausted out of nowhere. Psychic attacks generally start by draining your energy. My mom got one the other day. She was in the barn working with her horses. She stepped into the tack room and boom, her energy was just gone. And she was like, what the hell? And she barely made it back to the house. She was so exhausted. And then she called me and was like, something's wrong. I don't feel right. And she's like, all my energy was just taken like that. And sure enough, I checked and there was a damn Lizzie on her. So I removed it. And I shouldn't say I removed it. The guides removed it. So, yeah, whenever there's a very rapid drain of energy, yeah, that's definitely a sign. Whenever you have phantom pain that pops up out of nowhere, phantom pain, your foot is hurting all of a sudden, and you're like, why is my foot hurting? I went to a concert a couple months ago, and my foot was in agony as I was getting on the train to head back to my car. My foot, it had the worst cramp ever. And I was like, what the hell is going on? So I call in my guides and I asked them to clear me, and they did. And the next morning, one of them, I had an opportunity to have a direct conversation. And I said, thank you for clearing me. Because as soon as I asked to be cleared, the pain in my foot went away. And they said, yeah, there was this really nasty looking eel thing trying to bite your foot. And I was like, oh, well, good to know. Thanks for clearing me. So yeah, you just never know. Phantom pain is definitely headaches, definitely. But keep in mind that there also could be downloads coming through. You could be dehydrated. So it's not always a sign of a psychic attack when you have a headache. If it's splitting pain like a migraine, that is more likely. I've a few months ago, I think I remember telling you guys about it, where I had a really, really bad psychic attack. It felt like I was having a railroad spike put into the back of my head. It was crazy. And so I asked the guides to clear me, and they did clear me, and it was affecting my eyesight. Like I couldn't even barely see. That's how bad the pain was. And I had to keep up with it overnight because I was calling in my guides, and obviously they had muzzled me by that point, and I couldn't connect with my guides. So the next morning, I asked to be cleared through a different medium, and they did clear me, and they said, oh yeah, you were a really bad psychic attack. I actually felt bruises on the back of my head for nearly a week afterward. So they were actually, and I asked, I said, what the hell were they doing? And they said, no, they were hitting you with a spike in the back of the head. I was like, I fucking knew it. I knew there was the spike involved. I could feel the spike. So yeah, they can and will mess with people if they can get into your etheric field. So the biggest thing that you can do, right, is to notice them before it gets to that point. The reason I didn't get to that point was because I was taking a nap. I was sleeping and I woke up with the pain. So if you just all of a sudden start feeling pain, that is when you call in your guides and you say, hey, I don't know whether it's a blockage. I don't know whether or not I'm dehydrated. Always go and drink some water just to be sure. But either way, I just would love it if you would come down and check me to make sure that nothing is affecting my nothing is affecting my astral body. So call in your guides immediately. If you feel any heart flutters, that is one of the signs. Like if you feel like a double heartbeat all of a sudden that just comes out of nowhere, especially if you can feel something almost, I actually felt it hit me. I was walking through Walmart with Jono and Andy a couple weeks ago during the New York class, just grabbing some coffee and stuff for people. And I literally felt something slam into me. And I was like, what the hell was that? And then I felt the triple heartbeat. I was like, bah, bah, bah. And I was like, oh, that's not good. And I went running back to Andy and I was like, what is this? And Andy's like, oh, you got a Lizzie on you. Hang on. And he cleared it. And I was like, damn, man. I can't even go get coffee. So yeah, if you feel anything that feels like it's going to like it's touching you, pushing you, and you just don't feel comfortable, call in your guides and ask them to come and check you just to be on the safe side. So you just never know with phantom pain. In fact, I hate to say it, but it's not just the pain too. You can have rashes that can pop up. You can have spasms, really bad heart palpitations. But the thing is, right, and this is one of my biggest frustrations with the human body, is the fact that a psychic attack, when you have something in your vicinity, let's say a reptilian or something comes into your field, you can feel it immediately. It feels like pressure, like almost like heartburn, where something is like pushing on your heart. And that is the low vibration coming into your etheric field. Your etheric field is massive, right? It stretches out to about 8 feet around you. So when something comes into your etheric, for your outer etheric, you're going to feel it instantly, right? So when you get into the inner etheric, that's when the pain will begin. So if you can get it before it gets, because it's got to work its way in through your defenses. And this is why we always are telling people the most important thing you can do is increase your defenses through visualization and through all kinds of other things. You can increase your field by with crystals. Crystals are really good. That's why I'm wearing my moldavite today. They told me to wear my moldavite because it expands my etheric field. So in fact, they literally were like, "Yep, put on your moldavite today, Laura. You need to expand your etheric." I was like, "Okay, don't have to tell me twice." So yeah, this is one of the best things you can do to actually boost your etheric protection. And as I taught in my astral projection class, you can visualize anything around you that's going to, I mean, you could literally put a barbed wire around you if you really wanted to. In fact, over the weekend, I started doing that where I would put myself in a golden egg. So my inner etheric is protected by this golden egg, and I visualize the golden egg around me at all times, and it shimmers and shines, and I can literally see it shining around me. And then after I do the golden egg visualization, I do what I call the molten lava. I actually see like a funnel of molten hot lava pouring down over me and solidifying in like this rainbow obsidian bubble that fits around the egg. And when you have this rainbow obsidian bubble that fits around you, you just visualize that rainbow obsidian bubble sitting around you. You can even visualize the colors swirling, etc., that sort of thing. And when you feel that you can actually see it in your mind's eye, it's there. You have manifested it around yourself. And then, just because I was being cheeky this weekend, I put barbed wire and razor wire all over it as well. I envisioned the razor wire going all the way around my obsidian sphere. So nothing's getting through that. And this is one of the reasons why I've been sleeping very well, even though they're like, Lara, be mindful. You got to be careful. So as long as you guys are doing that twice a day, doing it once in the morning and once before bed, because in the morning you're protected for the rest of the day. And then if you do it in the evening, you're kind of refreshing it. So that way it's nice and strong before you go to sleep. So you want it when you're sleeping more than anything else, because unfortunately, when you're sleeping, that's when you are basically like defenseless. They can mess with you in your sleep. In fact, a lot of times people get hit. I've added an extra question to my detailed protocol. So when I do detailed clearing, I actually ask one of the questions, is there anything infecting the client's dream state at night? Because we found that a lot of times, get this, right? You won't even have an attachment during the day. Sometimes there's actually entities that will come in and only mess with you while you're sleeping. So you don't know that they're there. So if you don't clear them while you're sleeping, you're not going to catch them. So this is one of the reasons why we do find residual energy of things like level 2s on people, and they're not there when we do the clearing, because it's almost like guerrilla warfare. They come and hit you while you're not expecting it, and then they run off like cowards again. So I usually envision the black egg or the egg too, and then put clear quartz with black tourmaline, and the spikes become the barbs. Nice, Aaron. That's a great one. And I experience unwanted telepathy during sleep, even though I receive none before bed. So unwanted telepathy during sleep, that is a psychic attack. That is somebody coming in to mess with you in your dream state. Why they do that? Because you're an easier target. So if you ever hear something whispering to you, if you ever hear noises in your sleep, that's when something, you just call in your guides, call in Chen, call in anyone, and just be like, hey, I need your help. Please clear me. Please clear my bedroom. I like the suit of armor too. Some people wear a suit of armor, like straight up like a warrior. Yeah, great. Whatever works for you. Oh, thank you for asking. For answering Natalia's question. You can try asking them to show themselves to you. Make a statement that you are ready to know your guides. Well, it's funny you say that, because one of the things I was going to do today, as you guys are aware, I am obsessed with buying books. My library is getting quite extensive. And even though I've only been able to read like a quarter of the books in my library because of how busy I am, I'm always buying more. So this is the book that obviously you need to know about. How to Meet and Work with Spirit Guides by Ted Andrews. There you go. How to Work and Meet with Spirit Guides. I highly recommend getting this book. My friend told me it's very, very good, so I got it. Most of my books come through friend recommendations. I also got this book, Entity Possession, Freeing the Energy Body of Negative Influences. So this is yet again, this is by Samuel Sagan. Another doctor. Yay. Isn't it nice when we find doctors that are doing spirit release? Yes. So there's so many different books about entity possession. In fact, my biggest shelf in my library is entity release books. I've got about 20 of these now. There are so many written by different doctors as well. So this is another one, Samuel Sagan. And he talks all about, well, to be honest, like all kinds of different things. He's got all kinds of different sleep disorders in here. I got this book on thrift books, actually. So it's funny. Somebody else's notes are in this too, which is kind of cool. So somebody else must have been studying entity release when they got that book. And then I also have Healing Lost Souls. This is one for Earthbounds. This is an Earthbound book. So this is for helping Earthbounds cross over. Healing Lost Souls, releasing unwanted spirits from your energy body. This is from another book from William Baldwin. This is a harder to find book of William Baldwin's. For those of you who are aware, William Baldwin wrote several different books. This is one of the more rare ones. This one was not cheap. I think this was like $60 for this book. But yeah, I'm making sure that my library's got all the good shit in it. So that's why I got it. So William Baldwin is phenomenal. He's got a book called Spirit Release Tech Manual. Was it? Technique? Yeah. Anyway, you'll see it if you search William Baldwin. He's amazing. And then look at this. We've got another one. Another one came through. This one's called Spirit Release, a Practical Handbook by Sue Allen. Yep. And this one, concerned with psychic attack, curses, witchcraft, spirit attachments, possession, soul retrieval, haunting, soul rescue, deliverance. So, and this one's really cool. She goes through the chakras quite a bit. Not as much as that other book I told you guys about, the Core Light Healing book. But this one's really good too. I've been breezing through it a little bit. This is the one I got first, so I got to look at this one the longest. And this one's pretty good. Sue Allen wrote it. And then the last book that I got recently was written by, who was this? Lars Moll. One of my friends told me to get this. They recommended this book. They said it's phenomenal. The O Manuscript. It's about Mary Magdalene. And they said that this is one of the best books from Mary Magdalene. So I will be the judge of that. It's a very thick book, though. That's going to be a long read, this one. So there we go. I love how you guys keep saying 111 people are watching, but I says 144 on mine just now. So it must be more people on YouTube. There were actually 144 watching a second ago. That's funny. Do you know any books where they show the shape of entities? No, apparently I need to write that one. So I'm in the process of writing what I call a beastie manual. For those of you who know D&D, it's like a monster manual, but for real entities. So my new Pleiadian friends are slowly helping me write it. In fact, I've learned quite a bit about different ET races thanks to them as well. Thanks to my new Pleiadian friends who I love to bits. So yeah, we're going to be all kinds of interesting things that I'm going to put in that book. Like I said, it's going to be like a monster manual that for D&D, but for real ones. So exactly like the books from the show Grimm. Yes, exactly. You're reading my mind. That is exactly what I was going for. Yes. Can you imagine how thick the part about reptilians is going to have to be? Damn, because there's so many different kinds. So many different kinds. I found out that one of my soul guides, one of my guardians, is a mountain. Like literally, it's mountain energy. So I get locked inside a mountain when they feel they need to come in and protect me. So you just never know what kind of interesting beings that exist out there. Some of which are formless. There's a lot of beings that have no physical form. So the reason they have no physical form is they are light beings and they just choose whatever form they want to take. So there's a lot of beings out there that would have a blank picture, so to speak, because you just never know. So Jessica says, very cool. Just did a free human design online last night. Now I want to know what it all means. Yes, human design is really fun. We could totally talk about human design sometime. I can actually bring somebody on the podcast for human design. So today is a very busy day for me. Today I'm going to be switching over in just a minute. We're going to be going on Astara. For those of you who would like a free clearing, you're more than welcome to join me. I was told by my new Pleiadian friends, all I have to do is call them in and they will do a clearing for me. So guess what? For those of you who want to join me for a free clearing, please hop over to Astara in just a moment. And for those of you who would like to join me for another chat today, I have another special guest who I wanted to bring on the chat this morning, but she lives in California. So she was up in 144 watching right now. Yay. So this special guest that I have coming on today at noon, I'm going to be coming on Astara in just 1 minute for an hour. And then ironically, exactly when I'm done on Astara, I'm going to be coming back live to talk to you guys here again because my special guest is coming on. She couldn't come on as early because she's in California. So my special guest for today for my special 1111 podcast is Lori McDonald. Lori McDonald is all over Gaia. She is all over different places on the internet. She's just everywhere. Lori has been on, she's been on different TV shows. She's got her own TV show. She's been all very, very busy. She's written several books. So for those of you who don't know who Lori McDonald is a hypnotist. In fact, she's one of the most world-renowned hypnotists. She's phenomenal. And the reason I contacted her is because I was on Gaia one night, just hanging out, watching some stuff on Gaia, and they recommended a video on entity release. And I was like, entities? Interesting. So I watched it and it was Lori McDonald talking about how she removes entities with her hypnosis. Imagine that. So I invited Lori to come and join me today, and we're going to talk about her perspective of all of these things and her history with doing this stuff. And as I said, if you guys want to learn a little bit more about Lori, she is all over Gaia. She's got all kinds of really exciting interviews and things on there. So it'll be fun to chat with her today. So it is 11. I am going to switch over to Astara just now so we can have that private chat. I have a lot to tell you guys that I could not tell you on Facebook, unfortunately, because all of the, stuff on here that shouldn't be on Facebook. So just for safety's sake, we're going to switch over to Astara now. And like I said, for those of you who would like a clearing, I recommend you join us. And for those of you who are unable to join, that's totally cool. But I hope you will see us back here at noon in another hour. And we'll have that wonderful chat with Lori McDonald. So for those of you who are curious about how you join, starcommunity.com is where you can sign up. And once you're signed up and you have a login, you'll be able to go to the main page and you'll see that where it's got like the Zoom link, and just click the Zoom link and you'll be able to join. You don't have to have your camera on if you don't want it on, but I invite you all to join me. It'll be nice to actually talk face to face. So love you guys. I will see you over there in a minute, or I will see you at noon in an hour. Mwah. Bye guys.